Tapping? Well, Aaron Katursky, ABC News. What's going on? Could that be actually true?
It is true. We know that Paul Manfort, his former campaign chairman, was one of four Trump-related operatives who were wiretapped before and after the election. Manafort, in his case, there was concern that he was dealing with some nefarious characters because his lobbying client list included Ukraine and Russia, and there were questions about how he was getting paid, whether it was all properly disclosed on his taxes. But more than that, I think the primary concern and the reason for the wiretap is, he was communicating with the man who would be president, and so there was some security concern there too.
When you say wiretap, was it their phones? Was it a little bug on top of a lamp? Do we have any idea how they wiretap them?
I believe it was phone. And so another question is whether President Trump was overheard on any of those calls, and what the substance of what the feds heard, and does it inform the special counsel's investigation into Manafort, which includes tax evasion and money laundering suspicions, nothing firm, but also the broad question of whether he encouraged any of his former clients to interfere in the election.
You have to stop for a moment, right? News comes fast and furious, and we're busy every day. But what the news of the day is that the federal government wiretapped a campaign manager of a campaign. That is unbelievable.
Well, yes, although given Manafort's history, and remember, FBI Director Comey went to Trump with some of the concerns about the people that he had around him, Michael Flynn, right. I think, being the primary one, and so they didn't necessarily foresee the full-blown Russia investigation being led by a special counsel that we have today. But McGraw, there were concerns by federal authorities about some of these characters, and we don't know what the president's response was, or whether he cared, or whether he simply wanted to know. But remember when he talked about the phones at Trump Tower being tapped and whether he had recorded any of these conversations? Well, maybe he knew something at the time.
This was before Mueller and the special counsel was appointed. Now we also know that he went in and picked locks in that early morning raid to get documents from Paul Manafort's house?
Well, look, that's what the New York Times is reporting. I don't have that part, but we know that the FBI did raid Manafort's home in Virginia over the summer. There have been questions raised about some of his other properties here in New York, on the eastern end of Long Island in particular, and how they were paid for and whether those real estate transactions amounted to money laundering. Clearly, these are hardball tactics, and Manafort was even threatened with an indictment. Robert Mueller's not fooling around here, and it's a classic tactic to try and pressure someone no longer in the administration, but who has clearly fallen in the crosshairs of the special counsel.
Stay tuned. Aaron Katursky, thanks for checking in.
Thanks, McGraw.
6:57.